Kinetics has been made in association with Road Race Parts. Top quality, best prices, no compromise. Head to roadraceparts.com to get parts for your racing vehicles now.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Velocity Kinetics. We're going to have a slightly different approach to today's episode. I'm looking at replacing my car shortly because I might be able to replace it and lower my monthly payment, which is always a good thing to be able to do. But with everything I've got on my car as standard, maybe it's not going to be quite as straightforward as I'd hoped. So I'm just trying to get the camera to turn around. It's not going to turn around without stopping the recording. Anyway, it's not the easiest thing in the world to replace your car. Doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's brand for brand, as in Suzuki to Suzuki, Ford to Ford, Skoda to Skoda, or whether you're going to be brave and go Volkswagen to Alfa Romeo. It's not the easiest of things in the world to do, because every manufacturer has their own trim level. They have their own way of doing things in different spec levels, different offers at different times of the year. So we'll have a quick route around my car. You'll need to look at the very long review video from the other day to see a little bit of it in action. I have a 3-cylinder 1-litre turbocharged engine with 111 PS, which roughly translates to about 108, 109 brake horsepower. It's got plenty of torque. It's 5 doors as standard, sat-nav as standard, reversing camera as standard, air conditioning as standard. So, got a bit of a mission on to try and find something that'll match. Right, excuse me. So let's get out of the house. So for a boot, pretty big. Here's my collection of plastic bags. Those first aid kits are mine. I've got two-layer boot. I thought I had a 2019 one kicking around under the... Oh. What was that in the back? Don't know. Can't remember. But that's a pretty big boot. Got that rear spoiler on it as standard. Got the tinted windows as standard. I've got 3 seat belts in the back. Let's see if I can get in. Well, I'm 5'8" or 9, well, 5'10" on a good day. That driver's seat is in my driving position, quite high, but gets the job done. And I've got quite a bit of leg space, which is handy. Let me see if I can get in to Sarah's. Actually, I've never noticed this before. It's the first time I've actually probably been in the back. I got a little cigarette charger in the back. The only thing is I have wind down windows, but in the back, a bit old fashioned, but it gets the job done. And that's in Sarah's position, which is a bit further back from me. Yeah, I've got leg room. The carpet is mine, the mats are mine, so there wasn't an awful lot of... I didn't get an awful lot of freebies from Suzuki with it, but then, again, I'm only buying a Super Mini, so, you know, why do I need them? Let's have a look. Got adjustable passenger seat, front and back. It's on runners, so it's not fixed. Got a little bit of an adjustable, it's not height adjustable, but it's up and down adjustable. So this is in Sarah's position. Again, I've got plenty of space. Glove box, it's not the greatest, but it's a glove box, it does the job. Nothing fancy around the vanity mirrors, it's just that, basically. No light. Got these interior lights, all as standard. The big thing for me, though, let me just lean over and power on. See, down here, you might have seen me flick this when I did the very long review video. Got voice activation, not fantastic, but it's okay. My Bluetooth hands-free. I got that turns the sound on and off, changes the mode on the radio, so radio station, USB, something on the SD card. There's my volume, there's my skip track. So that's that coming on. Got my computer starting up. That's just me turning that off or down. So Bluetooth is standard. My phone will connect in just a second. There we go. Huawei P Smart. That's what I'm recording this on at the moment, and it's on the GIF-GAF network. And then, as we covered a little bit, we've got the sat nav that's already pre-built in. Will this let me get it in reverse now? It's got, wow, it's let me reverse without needing the clutch in. And we've got the reversing camera. Not a blind spot one, doesn't tell me how close I am to anything. It's got no parking sensors attached, but that's really, really good. I actually have to often tell myself, no, remember to use your mirrors as well. Just turn around and look. But we've got that as well. I've got, don't know how well this is going to be able to be seen. Is that doable? Does that look okay? Just about. I've got automatic headlights on this. Well, I've set mine onto auto. What it does on auto is when it's lights below a certain level, I believe that is my headlight, my daylight sensor. When the light's below a certain level, the lights will come on when the unlock button is pressed, and likewise when I'm driving, the lights will just come on. Otherwise, I've got day running LEDs, which is all well and good. Got electric wing mirrors. Now, that might not sound like a lot, just about every car on the market comes with them. However, given the Celerio comes with manual wing mirror adjusters, you could easily get stung with it in the, if you're not expecting it. As per the other video, oh, wrong one. There we go. See, getting 56.3 miles a gallon, so it's pretty frugal. It makes a pretty nice noise when it's poked. Let me just get out. For a 3-cylinder engine, it makes an awfully nice noise. Actually, just out of interest, this is about what I see when I drive normally. Just tilt that down a little bit for better privacy for people. So it's dash cam's just doing its thing. So let's let that do its thing. That's what. Why don't we just do a cheeky roll off, so I have a reason to rev it. That's just me putting it back on the drive. What a lovely noise it makes. You'd think that's got 4, 5, maybe even 6 cylinders under the bonnet. If you didn't know it was it was a booster jet engine, you would think it is some sort of performance engine. There's not an awful lot of turbo lag. It goes when it's prompted, and doesn't need an awful lot of tickling to do it. Interior seat quality. Oh, I hadn't realised that had gone. Yeah, it's not the best. I'll be honest with you, it's not fantastic. But what do you want? This car's selling at £10,500 at the moment, £2,500 off. But it's a reasonably tough interior. I say I quite like this little car. But I say if I want to get my aircon as standard, if I want that reversing camera as standard, if I want the sat nav as standard, I wouldn't mind some heated seats, because who doesn't want a warm bum in winter? But, you know, better turn that off. So, yes, as I was saying, I wouldn't mind some heated seats, because who doesn't want a warm backside in the middle of winter? But when you look around, and I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes, when you look around, start configuring what you want, this car is incredibly good value for money. I'm paying £249 a month for it, as mentioned in the very long review video. But as mentioned, I refinance negative equity. I've come into a little bit of money recently, which has meant I'm able to shift a lot of the equity on this car, and I might be able to replace it. Hopefully, if worst case scenario with only a couple of £100 negative equity. Best case scenario, maybe even as much as a £1,500 to play with on a trade-in. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. As in, if I can't get it to trade for what I want, there's not an awful lot I can do. I've got a £300 off voucher from Stoneacre, which I got when I bought this car originally. So we will have to give Stoneacre, or I will have to give... I say we because Sarah is also just as entitled to her opinion on it, but she's said try and go for another one of these. I would love to jump up to an SZ5, but to try and keep finances in line, I will have to go for another SZT. But SZT comes with all the equipment I've shown you as standard. The last car I came across that was just as good value for money, scaled up a bit, because it's the next category up, was a Subaru Impreza. I came across one of those about 18 months ago, no, more like 2 years ago now. At the time, that was before they started doing the 2 litres in the Imprezas. It was just when there was a 1.6 available. But at the time, it was a 1.6 Boxer, which didn't get great fuel economy compared to its rivals, or very good power. But it came with parking sensors front and rear, parking camera, heated seats, sat-nav, Bluetooth, and a host of other things. Metallic paint is standard. I don't believe in paying a lot of money for a paint job. I'm happy with whatever standard colour, as long as the standard colour isn't bright yellow or pink or orange or something ghastly like that. I'm fine with whatever the standard colour is. So this car was white because it was free. My Suzuki Swift was red because it was free. My sister's Suzuki Swift is red because the red is free. I say we're going to boot up in a minute with some... We're going to use Fraps, I believe that's... If that's working. We're going to use Fraps, and I'm going to go through a few car configurations with you. Now, you might notice, well, why don't you go to BMW? Why don't you go to this? There's a reason why I haven't picked some of the more well-known high street, would you call it high street? All the well-known motor brands. There's a reason why I've looked at some of the secret gems, because some of the secret gems is where you get your best deals. But let's get back in the house and get back in the warm.
Right, so we are now back indoors. I should point out that I am not paid or paid in any way, shape or form for talking about Suzuki a lot. It's just what the brand I like, and it is a car that I like quite a lot. So, with what the Baleno is, its closest rivals, I would say, would be, for interior space, would be something like the Ford Focus. For the actual physical size of the vehicle, you're looking at Seat, Ibiza, Skoda, that sort of vehicle. So we'll go to Suzuki first. It's only on the my quick links because I've been going back and forth. So we don't want the Swift, we want the Baleno, and as mentioned, it's got 10,999 starting price. That's for the SZ3 though, not the T. Let's have a look. So 12,499 for what I want. I'll show you everything it comes with on their website again, just in case you think I've got the next model up. Top features: boom, boom, boom. Or should I go boom, boom, boom? So it's got all that on there, and like I say, red and white are free, although for some reason in red it just doesn't look... Oh, like pre-sleep. There's just like some commenting something. Not as in the comment I left in this video, not one of mine, obviously. But yeah, white and red are good enough for me. I don't need automatic, so let's have a look. I am hoping I'd want it to be over the longest time period possible. I need about 10,000 miles a year, and fingers crossed with everything I've done, if I can work it to get that sort of money off or money down, we're looking at about 187 plus gap insurance. We're looking at about 207 a month, which is a lot better than the 249, the 279 I was paying when I had the gap insurance. So we can sort of see the sort of budget we're looking at, and for the amount it's starting off at, we're kind of up against it. So why don't we try SEAT first? I have to Googleize it. So we're probably looking at an Ibiza. Say Ibiza, or Ibiza, whatever you want to call it. I say it Ibiza, like the place. We're looking at about 15 grand starting, so we're already on the back foot. However, granted, the Suzuki has got that 2 grand off, but by the time we put on what we want, we're going to be a long way off. So it's not a bad looking car. I wouldn't say no to a Seat because it is essentially German underneath. So really, first off, I need to try and find something that's got what we want. So equipment, Bluetooth, yeah, we got that. We got media system, SD slot, so I could potentially download a questionable sat-nav system for it. But we've got aircon as well, fog lamps. That's another thing I completely forgot to mention. Fog lights seem to be optional on a lot of cars, and I cannot believe that something that important is optional. That hasn't really got what we want on it. Let's have a quick look, because if another one, just in case it's got more what we want. So Apple Play, Android Auto, that's not really what we want. Bluetooth still, which we've got. Navigation system, aircon. Now, I am going to possibly interchange the parking camera with parking sensors, as in to try and get it as close as I can. So we've selected an SE technology, so it's 16225, so already a long way over. I'm going down in PS. I'm going down by 17 PS, which may or may not be a good or a bad thing. It very much depends. But that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with 1 litre. Oh, what a horrible colour! All of these are no cost. Okay. Well, I like blue, so we will go with a blue one. I don't care about the wheels because I've got alloys, so it would have to be on alloys, cloth, interior. Well, there's not a lot I can do any different, and that's it. Boom, we're at 16225, which is not fantastic. But don't forget, I've got other things on. Like this hasn't got the rear spoiler on that I've got on my car. It's on the one hand, you might go, well, it's not an awful lot to write home about having a spoiler, really, is it? No, maybe not. But it's an option, and a lot of manufacturers will charge for it. But there's no parking sensors on that, so I have to build the next one up. So FR, that's a sport one, is it not? Adjustable 3-point rear fog. That's not really listing the same sort of things we've got. And we're just starting to get into silly money, so we're gonna have to scrap the Seat. You could maybe try Volkswagen. There's a lot of car manufacturers in my history at the moment. So let's have a look. We'll go new. Build your VW. I would prefer something like a Golf, but we'll have to go Polo. Although I did see a new Polo the other day, and it did seem a bit bigger than the normal one. So what are we going to have here? What's the difference? 14235. Looks about the same wheelbase as my current vehicle. What do we get in the standard equipment on the Polo S? So basket cloth, that's fine. Automatic coming home, that's fine because that's what I use now. Bluetooth, it's fine. Body colour bumpers, well, that's what I've got. I've got a dimming rear view mirror in the sense of there's a flip thing that I have to flip on the mirror to dim it. So that could be that. It could be an automatic one. I think it's the flip. Folding rear seat backwards, well, that's what I have. Headlight range adjustment, what I've got. Manual air conditioning, I have. Speedo and rev cap. How much are you scraping the bottom of the barrel for those? Good grief. Two-tone horn, I don't understand why it wants. Well, we'll see what we can add onto the onto that, and we'll go from there. Oh no, we are not going back down to 65. It might have plenty of pep, but I'm sorry, I am not dropping all the way back to back to that. So let's see what else we get on one of these. Well, we'll see what we get. Build your VW. So I would want, for closest to the horses I currently get, I would need the 1 litre TSI. Look, we're already at 17,360. That's not a good. Yeah, it's telling us about, yeah, we've been naughty in the past. Solid red. Yeah, it's fine. Not averse to red. I'm not paying any more for any special wheels. Interior. It is what it is. Now the options. What have we got here? Clothes hanger, door sill, no, no. Carpet set, no. Service plan's always a good thing to get, because it means a couple of these services are free. Climate control, that's not really what I want. Light and sight, no. That's not bad for 285. I'll have to keep that off just a second. That's what I have. 250 quid option that's standard on a Baleno. Honestly, actually heated and adjustable with lowering front passenger function. What? Voice activation, 195 quid for. I need to put that on to match what I currently have. And it looks like I've got a subscription for the sat nav, which doesn't seem completely fair. Now we'll keep the heated seats off because let's see. So we're looking at 18,557. So even with the other £2,000 that the Baleno is meant to be, we're looking at about 15 grand for the car, and that's just not going to happen. We'll look at the finance calculator for it, but I would say we're looking at about 230 for that a month. So on PCP, which is personal contract purchase, it's put down a lot of deposit. And wow, I wouldn't get that sort of money back with my car. It's just nope, can't go with a VW. It might have been a bit ambitious. Let's try and think of someone else we can try. Let's try Skoda. Usually Skoda aren't too bad, especially recently, because effectively there's VWs underneath. Built quite solidly. Ugh, I cannot speak. Built quite solidly, quite reliable. A Fabia I would be looking at. I'm sure last time I looked at one of these, it ended up. What the hell? Skoda's strange website. So we'll go for a Fabia hatch. So actually, we're not too far away. I'd need to go for the SE hatch. So actually, we're already same again. We're already quite over what we have. So SE comes with DAB radio, which I have as standard. USB I have as standard. I have that as standard. That as standard. And that's standard. So rear parking sensors, that comes on it as standard. So it's not the camera, but sensors are not a bad thing to have as a replacement. So we're looking at £156 a month for that. So I would need to go up to get. I can get nice and close. I have to go to the. Nope, that's it. 110 PS, so it's pretty close to what I've got, and look, we're nearly over what a Baleno costs already. So I can get it in blue. Blue's free, is it not? Yeah, I have to do it in blue. What? I can put a different colour. No. We are just going to keep things simple. I'm going to put those wheels on because they're easier to clean and they're free. I assume that's just the standard interior. So, what we then want, I'm not sure what this Care Connect thing is, to be honest. Because that's free, so long as it doesn't ask me to add, it wants all of that. Navigation system. Well, actually, I'm gonna have to put it on with DAB. So we're gonna have to add that on. So I've got my sat nav on there. Don't have that. Don't need it. Don't need that. 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 Panoramic. That I haven't got, and I wish I had, because I once in the winter last year. Yeah, it was last year actually. It got so cold that my car's windscreen nozzles, it took forever for them to unfreeze. I mean, I was there for ages before I left my house, trying to wait for them to thaw out, spraying de-icer in them left, right, and centre. Then they froze over, and I couldn't see out my windscreen, and it was single-handedly probably the most scary thing I've had to do, driven through. So we're going to want the rear view camera as well to match what we have. Winter pack, that's nice, but we don't need. Oh, I thought it added it on. Right, okay, so we'll need that. Oh, I don't bloody know what it's doing. Right, okay, well, I think it's put it all on. So we're looking at 184. Don't want all that. I wouldn't say no to the. Going to put the service plan on because that's what I had before, and we've already got that on. So 16079 is what we're looking at. We've got the rear view camera. It hasn't put on that thing, so actually I'd need to go back and put that on. But let's have a look. The monthly payments look quite low, but I suspect it is putting a large deposit down to get the payments down to the 180 odd region. So we're looking at, what was it, an SE, 110. So yeah, it's putting down about 1,500. It's not really doing what we want, is it? I mean, monthly payments of 193, that's not too bad. That's about as close as I'm going to get, but I'm missing quite a few things of what I've currently got on the Suzuki. So Skoda, it's not a bad choice. Let's try Renault. Probably have to be the Clio. I mean, the Megane, my brother quite likes the Megane. I have to say, I'm quite sold on one of those for myself. We'll build a Clio. I'm just trying to think of another good little gem, because we've done Skoda. Subaru's a bit on the expensive side, really. Let's have a look and see what we get. No, I don't want that. So let me view all the features. So exterior equipment, it's fine. That matches what we have. It's fine. Heat and ventilator. That's what we've got. Manual operate. Yeah, that's all good. In-car DAB. That's what we have. Cruise control I don't have. That'd be nice on a thing. Communication and navigation. 36 months TomTom subscription. So it sounds like I've got some sort of sat-nav on this vehicle. Well, we'll see what we get. I'd want it in. Let's have a look. TCE diesel. TCE. I'd have to go for that to get as close as I can to what I have power-wise. White paint, because I'm not really bothered. Additional options. Nope, don't really care about that. Don't care about that. Packs. I'll have a look at the individual options, because I might be able to put some individuals on. 250 for. Wow. 250 to get my privacy glass, like I've already got. Sensor reverse camera. I'd have to go up a grade to get that. That's just not happening. Not quite what I wanted. Let's have a look. Kia. Kia are always have always been pretty good. And the last time I had a look at one for a quick glance, they'd up their price points quite a lot, and I actually couldn't get what I wanted. I don't even know what would be the closest one to what I've got. Probably the Seed, I'd have thought. Oh, God. From 18,000 for the Seed. We'll have to take the Rio then. The Rio's probably... Actually, think about the... Ooh. Nope. No. I can't do that. Let's try Hyundai. Hyundai are a pretty good manufacturer to go with as well. But again, they had increased their price points quite a lot, so they stopped being cheap. So what I would want the problem I've got is that Baleno's actually it's more like that sort of car in size, but it's like i30 size but i20 price. Wow, that's just gonna be a no-go for me. I really wouldn't say no to one of those. But it's good to do the research, and it's always good to do the research whenever you're looking at changing manufacturer, or even just to make sure you're with the right one for what you want. A lot of people end up suckered in. Well, is it right to say suckered in? They end up with the same manufacturer for a number of years, simply because they know what the manufacturer gets to know what they want. The manufacturer gives them, to be honest, a lot of it's the manufacturer gives them finance, and then the customer just keeps buying a new car and paying off the finance with the trade-in value and so on and so forth. So actually, sometimes it's just a never-ending circle. We'll try the Blue Oval. Now, what I would really love is a Mondeo. But when I looked at this the other day, they've actually changed the engine that you get in the Mondeo. I'd wanted one with the 1 litre EcoBoost, with the 125 in it, but you can't get them anymore. Or at least new. Before someone says, why don't you just look at a used? I'm not against looking at a used car. The thing is, on finance, take the Baleno for example. I think it said it was 5.9% APR on that. When we've been to Stoneacre before, and this is when I was with my sister was considering going for a used car, but they said the interest rate on that's 14-15%. So you might be better off going for the new one, which is more than fair enough. I'm happy to consider an X Demonstrate, because sometimes, even though you'd be paying a higher interest rate, the fact you'd be so low on your payments or on the purchase price, it offsets it. Now, my parents have got a Fiesta. It's just trying to find one that's got the right... What's the style got on it? Because I know my dad hasn't got... I know it's not a style. I think this is a Z-Tech. Maniac on 6 speakers. Let's try the next one. Z-Tech. Z-Tech, how do you pronounce it? Touchscreen DB, emergency assistance, that's a good one. USB. The quick clear windscreen. I've seen it in action on my parents' car, and that is... Go away. And that it looks awesome. I'm just looking at the different trim levels, because sometimes you're better off going for the next trim level up, but you get a fair few extras on it. So let's have a look. I'm gonna have to go with a... How much is the titanium? I'm gonna go with put a Z-Tech on, and then we're gonna see what that'll do, because I might be able to put some of the options on I want, but go quite custom with it. So body style, I will want 5-door. I don't want anything 3-door. I've had a 3-door car, as mentioned before, and didn't care much for it. So what has that 1.0T got on it? 100 PS. Yeah, that's about as close as I'm going to get with. That's what am I on? Engine, transmission, so colour. Just that blue will do me. Extras. Spare wheel. No. Rear privacy glass. I can get that for 2. Well, it's what I've got, so I'd have to put that on. C-pack. Rear view camera pack. Yep, I have to put that on. Comfort pack. What's on the comfort pack? Please heat seat, heat serial. No, don't. No, go away. Go away. Don't want that. Lumbar support. Forward navigation with Ford Sync 3. Right, that's my sat nav and everything. What I am going to put on, which I haven't got, but I really could do with the pain I keep having in my shoulders, some lumbar support. So let's have a look. Get monthly payments for this vehicle. So Ford option seems to be their equivalent of PCP. 36 months is the maximum they'll do it over by the looks of things. So assuming I can get about 1,000 for my car, which is quite wishful thinking, 281. Yeah, that's a lot of money for a Fiesta. Now, granted, if I went to the dealer, I might be able to get a much better deal, and they might be able to wing something for me. But that's a lot of money for a Fiesta. And before you think I've just cherry picked, I've had a look around at quite a few different things. Honda, another great Japanese utilitarian maker of vehicles. I can't get what I want for the same price. And this is why I highly recommend going for the Bolinos if you're looking for that type of car, because if you look at it, we're looking at a Jazz which is 14,240. I don't think the Jazz has even got close to the same level of entry-level equipment as I get on the T. Let's have a look. Can I find something that will tell us what tell me what the S adds? There we go. Cruise control, magic seat brake. So those two are the same. That's the same, and that's it. 1.3. Ooh. It's just not as good. Toyota, again, it's just not as good as you would think. Again, the half the battle is trying to match what I've got. But if you look at it would have to go for a Yaris. 13 grand for the Yaris, but it doesn't look as good or as much better MPG. But the Yaris, as far as I'm aware, is a smaller car than the Baleno. So, we're not doing very good there. Nissan, probably looking at a Pixar, I think. Is it Pixar? Pixo? I hate the Duke. I hate the Qashqai. It actually stings a little having to look at these. Yeah, it's sort of a big gap, isn't there? Not really what I want. And even if I wanted to try and think outside the box, I can't. I'd love to get a Volvo. Absolutely love to, but I am stopped immediately. Would love one of those. Absolutely love one. But that'd be what I'd be looking at. And what does the V40 start at? It's about 21, I do believe it starts at. I think it's 21. Well, last time I looked at one, it was. Select inscription. D2, D3. No, I'd want the T. I'd want a T2. But where's my price? Where's the price? There we go, view summary. The fact it's not even telling me the price concerns me. Look, Subaru, as mentioned, they've moved the price point of the Impreza, because when I looked at it a couple of years ago, it was 18.5 for everything you got on the Impreza. And like I said, the Impreza is a damn fine vehicle. Look at that, 24 for that. You might as well almost spend the extra 1,000 and go for a bigger vehicle. But everything's listed. Everything you get on there is that you've basically got the choice of your engine and your gearbox, and that's about it. It's a good car, much bigger than what I've got, and probably a bit more than I need. But again, we're not getting anywhere. And BMW, the 1 Series is too expensive. The Audi A1's too expensive. Alfa Romeo, the Mito is quite expensive, as is the Giulia, which why I haven't looked at. I just realised how dark it's gone. It's why I haven't looked at one of them. The only one that gets kind of close is a Vauxhall, and that's a Vauxhall Astra. But again, I'm paying an awful lot of money a month for something that's not quite what I have. Might have 1 or 2 extras, like I might have some heated seats or something like that, but that's it. I wouldn't Vauxhall's not particularly a make I would like, and they're quite expensive to insure because they're very popular amongst the younger driver. I wouldn't particularly want a Citroen or a Peugeot, more because their electronics are not as good as they could be. Chances are, put it this way, chances are if you're driving down the motorway, or just driving along any road in general, if you see a newer car that's broken down, chances are it's French. Before you say, well, what, you'd look at a Renault and they're French. Like, I've driven a Renault and I quite like the Renault. The Renault is, don't know, I just never been too warm towards Citroens or Peugeots. The Fiat Tipo is a lot of car for the money, but again, by the time I put on what I want, it's not cheap anymore. And even then, I haven't seen an awful. There we go. 2 models in the Tipo range. That is it. We want. There we go. 13,970, and that's just for the. That's just at the start. I mean, we can certainly have a look. I mean, Fiat aren't too bad of a make. There are better, there are worse, but they're pretty solid. They sell a 500 by the bucket load. So I imagine we probably want the Easy Plus to start getting what I want on it. Aircon, audio controls. Right, well, it's probably going to have to be that, and I'm going to probably want. Weird, that's a bigger engine, less power, but it's putting out more CO2 because it's automatic. That's probably why. But look at that, 1.4 16 valve, 95 horsepower. The Ford we looked at a few minutes ago, 1 litre, 100 PS. The Baleno, 1 litre, 111 PS. And actually, just to before I finish off, I'm just going to go back to where we started. For the prices we've been looking at on some of these vehicles, particularly say just that Fiat Tipo, looking at about 14 grand or so, you could have that. You could have that is a really big car. It's a really, really good, good vehicle. I prefer the SZT myself, but the SZ4 is not a bad starting point if you don't mind what you've got, or don't mind missing out on a few things. But SZT, I mean, look at the VW we spec'd up. Boom, the S-Cross SZT is cheaper. Look at the Seat. Squeeze out another £1,000. Guess what? You got a big family car, and you're covered just in case any unwanted sprogglings happen. Or you just got a very big car to go on holiday with, go out with your mates in. So it's all about thinking about where you look. Now, let's say it sounds like recently in these blogs I'm sort of being paid or pushing for some sort of something that Suzuki have asked me to push. I have not. It's just simply they're the brand I use. I'm quite taking a lot of their offers at the moment, so I encourage you to look at what offers you can get and think it all through. Don't be afraid to look at other manufacturers. Don't be afraid to look at other dealers, unless, of course, you got something like that, as mentioned in one of the videos. I've got a £300 off voucher for Stoneacre. So naturally, because I got a Suzuki and I know of a Stoneacre Suzuki, I'm going to go there first because I can get an extra 300 quid off. So there we are. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. I hope you've enjoyed this slightly different take on everything recently. Whether it will stay, we don't know. But remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Remember to like the Facebook page. It's Velocity Kinetics, and check out keep an eye on the blog as well. And we'll see you later. Velocity Kinetics has been made in association with Road Race Parts. Top quality, best prices, no compromise. Head to roadraceparts.com to get parts for your racing vehicles now.